Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to a very fun and exciting episode of This Week in Canada. My name is Roberto Wakerl Cruz, and thank you for joining me once again. I am back in the office after a nice vacation, and so are you. So let's get started and just jump right into it after a very special word from our sponsors at Surfshark. Surfshark is the VPN of your dreams, and oh baby, they're still here for another week to give you the deal of a lifetime. For a limited time only, you can get 81% off of their fantastic VPN. You can get unlimited devices through Surfshark. What does Surfshark do? Well, it gives you the ability to just surf the web as you used to, as you want to, in any country around the world. US, France, look up Netflix in different countries, look at websites, buy plane tickets from different countries. Maybe you'll get a deal. There's so much you can do on Surfshark, so what you got to do is go to the links below, check out the deal. It's for a limited time only. It's only $250 a month, which is pretty cheap, which is the US price, so it's only $3 something a month, depending on the price in Canada. Now, let's get started with our very, very special pandemic election episode of This Week in Canada, because oh boy, if you're watching this on Friday, you might already know that on Thursday, news broke through multiple sources. So it was Reuters, then CBC, then CTV. We covered it too. Everyone was saying that there will be an election on September 20th, that Justin Trudeau is going to ask the Governor General to dissolve this 43rd Parliament on Sunday, and the announcement will be made that there's going to be an election during the pandemic. This is big news, considering that the Trudeau Liberals have been kind of dancing around this for a few months. Everybody's kind of known. It's been in the air. You know, ever since Trudeau shaved his beard, everyone was like, oh, that's kind of weird. He shaved his beard. Like, that was like the first sign of an election. And then we saw all these politicians door knocking. I don't know if you remember this or if you saw this on the Post Millennial, where I'm the Canadian news editor at. But politicians like Patty Hajdu, I'm sure it's Patty Hajdu. I'm still saying it like that. We're posting onto Twitter saying, hey, my dog, Chico or whatever, can't come door knocking with us, but you can. Go to pattyhajdu.com. Let's put it up on the screen. There she is. Saying, you know what? Yeah, we might be in the pandemic. I might be the health minister. I might be telling you to not leave your house unless absolutely necessary. But I'm going to go door knocking because I like to win. And I like to work my way to get a pension at some point. Everybody wants that delicious pension. So that was kind of weird. We've seen other MPs go door knocking. I mean, a few months ago, this was a couple months ago, I believe, Seamus O'Regan. We can put those ones up on the screen. Seamus O'Regan went door knocking very shamelessly during his province's, I think, elections going on there. And let's put the photos up on the screen of him going door to door. Obviously not something you would want to do during a very, very serious health crisis. Of course, that is not something you would do, is go door to door to people's houses and ask for them to vote for you or the candidate in that riding. So it's been in the air. We've known that this is happening. It's a little bit funny, though, by the way, if I can just mention that this news broke on the Thursday, the exact same day that Theresa Tam says that Canada's in the fourth wave. I mean, it's just, you know, for how much the government likes to pretend like they care about our safety. When it comes to just getting an election or getting a majority, it seems like the government really wants to win again. But it's a great time for all parties to pretend like they care about people's health. I mean, the Conservatives and the NDP have both said, whoa, we're still in the fourth wave. We're still in the pandemic here, baby. We can't be having elections right now, knowing full well that they would just get destroyed by Trudeau in an election, probably Trudeau majority. Like, whoa. We got to watch out for people's health. This coming from the same guy, Jagmeet Singh, who linked anti-mask behavior, let's put it up on the screen, anti-maskers, and people who are anti-science, big air quotes on anti-science, to white supremacists and radical extremism of that sort. And then just like 2 days later, gets caught giving a friend of his who he's giving a ride in a car a big hug without a mask on, right? So it's the whole song and dance. It's him pretending that he cares about people's health. And then, you know, getting caught not caring about people's health. O'Toole, on the other hand, I was looking it up today. So if you're going to guess when the last time Aaron O'Toole led in the polls against Justin Trudeau, and we'll put it up on the screen here. So according to major polls in Canada, the last time the Conservatives had a lead on the Liberals goes back to a Nanos research poll of September 25th, 2020, where the Conservatives led by a whopping 0.1%. Compared to the Liberals' 34.1%, the Conservatives had a 34.2%. Ever since then, the Liberals, rather, have had a pretty commanding lead. Obviously, as Nico pointed out, remember Nico, elections during the pandemic tend to be pretty good for the incumbent. And Justin Trudeau, as annoying as much of the population find him, is probably going to win, I would imagine. I would say there's maybe like a 20% chance that he doesn't get a majority. I'm really not optimistic about this election, right? But, I mean, this whole thing's going to be a mess anyway. So, obviously, the U.S. had some problems with the pandemic election. Obviously, the incumbent did not win there. And obviously, there's some big controversy surrounding the way that the pandemic election played out. Like, exactly, some people, were calling shenanigans in certain states, blah, blah, blah. We're not getting into that. We're This Week in Canada. But there is some types of parallels because if you are not aware of this, the Trudeau government has been trying very, very hard, harder than anything, to ensure that this election, even though it's being held at during the fourth wave, that has people not leave their homes. So let's put this article up on the screen. The Trudeau Liberals push for easier mail-in voting, 5 million mail-in ballots ready to be printed. Now, I don't know if you know how many people live in Canada. It's about 37, 38 million. So this is a pretty sizable percentage if they're planning on 5 million votes. And according to the reporting here done by a guy named Roberto Wickrell Cruz via Blacklock's reporter, it said that last election, Canada saw 49,545 mail-in votes, with Election Canada gearing up to print and mail 5 million ballots this year. That's a huge step up from 50,000. It looks like we've never even done, this is like what, 0.01% of the amount of ballots that we've normally printed in an election. So this is going to cause problems, right? We clearly don't have the capacity to count 5 million ballots in a day, you might think. Well, you'd be correct if you think that. Let's pull up another article called Results of Canadian Pandemic Election Could Take Days. And this is from the Chief Electoral Officer. This was just reported on August 4th, so just under 2 weeks ago. Canada's Chief Electoral Officer is warning Canadians voting in the federal election, which is expected to occur in the upcoming months, that they may have to wait additional days to find out the final results. Stéphane Perrault addressed the departure from normal, adding that while voters may also have to go to unconventional polling places, so who probably knows, I know there's some outrage or some kind of motive to make sure that people aren't in crowded places, of course, even though Canada is extremely vaccinated. This is part of a plan devised by Elections Canada to safely conduct an election during the pandemic. It is important for Canadians to understand that this is part of the plan of deliberate choices that we've made. So we're trying to keep us all safe. We're trying to make sure that we don't get sick during the election. Even though, holding a pandemic election just really doesn't seem like the safest thing in my mind, at least. It's not intuitive to me, at least. But what do you think? I mean, this is... so let me just give a little bit of insight, I guess, instead of just shouting the news at you. I think there is maybe a 5% chance that O'Toole would get a minority. I think it's maybe even less than that. I think there's no chance that he's going to get a majority. He's been really weak. I think intentionally weak. He's been trying to play the middle ground. Of course, he's trying to win over those Ontario seats by proposing things such as a carbon tax that he signed a pledge for. We can put a photo up of O'Toole signing a pledge to not introduce any sort of carbon tax and then doing it as soon as he got into power. That was kind of weird move, dishonest, some would say. So he's trying to bank on winning the Alberta seats that Scheer won in the last election to create that very large minority government that they got last time, and raise just the general level of votes that he gets in all ridings in Ontario by seeming extremely moderate and frankly quite boring and unimpressive, and not standing up for anything that I would actually consider voting on him for. This is just my opinion, of course. He's not really said anything about like a vaccine passport or anything like that I'm going to have to live with. So I'm going to say a Trudeau majority. Afterwards, I don't know what's going to happen with the Conservatives. I can't imagine if O'Toole gets completely wiped out that he would stick around very often. Just an observation here. But Pierre Poilievre has really been stepping up his game on social media. I don't know if you guys have gone to his Twitter lately, but he's really been pumping out some ads that are all about him, not the Conservative Party so much. And it doesn't ever mention who the leader is. That's kind of weird. It's always fighting for you, Pierre Poilievre, a slogan that he's been going with for ages now. He is fighting for you. I like Pierre Poilievre. Wonder what he's up to. Anyway, I think that's about a full episode. Let me know what you think. Is this going to be the dumbest election ever? Or is Canada going to get gaslit into believing that people that don't like mail-in ballot elections are crazy? Because it does seem a little crazy to do that. Why don't we just wait a little bit? I know the NDP are broke, and I know the Conservatives aren't polling well. They both don't want an election. Let's just wait. I don't know. Do we need one? I don't think so. But before we go, make sure you check out the fine people over at Surfshark. You can go to the links below and check out the VPN of your dreams. Like we always say, 80% is for losers, 81% is for winners. And viewers of the Post Millennial can get a VPN now for only $250 US a month on unlimited devices. Surf the web the way you'd like to. That should be their slogan. Anyway, my name is Roberto Wakerel Cruz. Thank you very much for joining me once again, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.